Let's begin with the scarf. Begin by laying out your fabric folded in half the way you brought it home from the fabric store. It will measure 1 yard by 30 inches. Then measure the width 6 inches from the edge of the fabric, like this. Hold both layers of fabric and cut a straight line from the bottom up to the fold at the 6-inch mark. This is your scarf. Measure 5 inches from the base up and mark it with painter's tape. Then cut off the edge that shows the brand of fabric and cut straight lines up to the painter's tape about 1 inch apart. Make sure to hold both layers of fabric as you cut and cut in a straight line. The blue tape is your indication to stop. Remove the tape and you have yourself a scarf. At this point, you can leave the fringes the way that they are, or you can choose to tie little knots by wrapping it around your finger to give it a little bit of a more finished off look. Your choice. Using scissors and holding both layers of fabric firmly, cut up to the fold in a straight line. The fabric should measure 30 by 12. Cut off the edge again to get rid of the fabric bottom, and then cut along the fold to make 2 pieces. This will make 2 hats. Put aside 1 half and fold the other half in half so that it will measure 15 by 12. Lay the 2-layered fabric down on the table and smooth it out and make sure all the edges match. Measure 10 inches from the top and mark that spot with blue painter's tape. Holding both layers of fabric firmly, cut 1-inch slits in the fabric along the bottom up to the painter's tape, leaving about 4 inches of fabric uncut. Cut off the 4 inches that are on the right side of the fabric. Take off the tape and lay the fabric open on the table. You want to make sure all of the pieces are laid out flat. With the fabric laid out flat, fold in each side so that they meet in the center, making sure that all of the strips on one side line up correctly with the strips on the other side. Beginning at one end of the fabric, start tying square knots using 1 strip from either side. Left over right, left goes through the middle, pull it through, right over left, right goes through the middle, and pull it through. Once the knots are all tied, then you need to cut off the extra fabric to make it into a small bow. This will be the back of the hat. Now you need to cut strips about 1 inch apart along the top of the hat in order to make a fringe at the top once you gather it together. So you'll start by making one cut down the center to the first knot. You will cut to that first knot on either side. You can make them inch wide or 1/2 inch wide. It depends on how you want it to look on the top of the hat, how wide you want the little strips to be. Using the extra 4 inches that were cut off of the fabric before you started tying the bows, cut a 4-inch strip, about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch thick. The strip will be used to tie around the top of the hat to bunch up the fabric. So gather the fabric, put the strip around, and tie it so that the knot will be in the same place as all the other knots in the hat. Do another square knot and pull it as tight as you can. Cut off the extra fabric. The hat and scarf are finished. If you like, you can fold up the edge of the hat to give it a rim. And then you're ready to pack it in your favorite wrapping paper and give it as a gift. 1 yard of fabric will create 2 hats and 2 scarves.